So let's give a huge round of applause for Bob. Here comes Bob.
There we go. I'm an emergency medicine doc. It says so right here. I've been doing it for 40 years, and I thought I knew a lot about emergency medicine some 30 years ago when I was fresh out of training, board certified, et cetera, till I learned a really good life lesson in Texarkana, Texas, East Texas. I had taken a job there to work weekends to cover a little hospital for Doc Johnson. Doc Johnson was the only doctor in the entire town. Anybody under the age of 50 he had delivered in that town. He had a hospital with 4 beds and 3 little gurneys for the ER, and I was to cover from Friday night till Sunday because he wanted to go out to his ranch. And so I got there and he oriented me and walked me around. I thought, this is a plus job. I'm getting paid for this. I'm going to sit here, this tiny little hospital. This is nothing. And as he oriented me, he said, there's only one thing you got to do. You got to listen to Janelle. Janelle is the little nurse. She's about 60 years old. She's about 5 feet tall. Rumor had it that when she was in grade school, she was a tomboy, and she distinguished herself by standing up for the little guy and beating the bullies. And the way she did that is she'd put jalapeno juice on her hands, jump on them from behind, rub it in their eyes, kick them in the balls, and run away. So I liked her right away. She also had a big old pickup truck with rifles loaded in the back, and she very happily showed me in her handbag a fully loaded .357 Magnum, said, just in case. So Doc said, I think you do all right. He put on his hat, he left, and he left me with Janelle. Things went fine. Friday, nothing happening. Scorpion bite, nothing. This is an easy job. Saturday night, that all changed. Saturday night, all of a sudden, we get a call from the paramedics. They're bringing in a football star from the local community named Billy Bob. Billy Bob has been involved in an overturned truck wreck. His pickup truck is overturned at the local drive-in, and he's coming in inebriated with a head injury. So as he rolls in, I get the story from the paramedics. He seems to be a big old drunk cowboy. He's got a little abrasion to his head. He doesn't look bad. And I get the story, well, you know, he was sitting there in his truck with Peggy Sue, and he went over concession stand. They'd been drinking a lot of beer, and he come back, and she's over there with Jimmy Jeff in his pickup, and he got all upset, and he drove his truck to the back of the drive-in. He was getting rubber back there when he flipped her right on over. He weren't wearing no seatbelt. So, oh boy. So I look him over. He's drunk. He's cooperative. Things look pretty good. This is no big deal. As I start to order things, let's get everything I say, Janelle's already done. X-ray, blood work, everything is done. It looks like we're going to be discharging him pretty soon. His family's en route. All of a sudden, Peggy Sue shows up with Jimmy Jeff. And all of a sudden, Jim Bob jumps up in his gown, kept his cowboy boots on, of course, rips his IV out, picks up the IV pole and starts swinging it around saying he's going to kill him. I back out of the room with everybody else, and we close the doors. We're looking through the little glass there. I say, let's call security. There is no security, doctor. You are the security. Well, in that case, let's just watch for a while. And all of a sudden, I feel something behind me, and it's Janelle. And Janelle says, get out the way. I said, what? You can't go in there. He's very dangerous. You can't go in. Get out of the way. I'll handle this. She pushes those doors open. Jim Bob, you're embarrassing me. I spanked your naked fanny when you were born, and I'll spank it again. And I'm going to tell your mama, get back up on that gurney. And sure enough, he turns beet red. He puts down IV pole. He gets back up on that gurney. So now I'm writing him up to go home when Janelle comes by and informs me, I got some bad news for you. He's in coma. Coma? How can he be in coma? So I go over to check him, and he's lying there. And I'm a pretty smart doctor. I try to open his eyes to look to see if there's any pupillary response. He's holding his eyes shut. This is not a coma. This is pseudo-coma. He's faking it. I'm a very sophisticated doctor. I know how to find this out. I'll hold his arm up and drop it on his head till it starts mysteriously missing. Nothing works. I'll rub his sternum till he starts moving. Nothing works. I'll pinch his pectoralis, also known as a titty twister, until he wakes up. I do that. Nothing works. He is not waking up. So I move to my ace. We're going to get a little bucket of ice water, and we're going to put his scrotum in it. Just as I do that, The doors fly open. In comes his family, his mother, father, cousins, the football coach, everybody. My God, the city doctor's putting Bill Bob's balls in wastewater. What the hell's going on? Where's Doc Johnson? I get him back out of the waiting room. I have one left to play, and that is, you can try this on your significant other while they're asleep. Take a Q-tip, put it in the nostril, and twirl it. That wakes them up every time. Stand back, watch this. Nurses. They give me the Q-tip, I put it in. Nothing. Give me another Q-tip, 2 Q-tips. Nothing. He doesn't wake up. Now I'm worried. We've got to get a CT. Where's Chanel? We don't have no CT scanner here. I'm worried I'm missing something because he is not waking up. The nurses have stuck needles in his feet. He's not reacting. So I'm going to get him air evac'd out. Just as I'm telling Janelle to call the helicopter to air evac him to the medical center, all of a sudden the doors swing open. Doc Johnson walks in. Think of Sam Elliott with a stethoscope. Takes his Stetson off, he beats the dust off, takes his stethoscope, she puts it on his neck. He walks over to one side of the bed, Janelle's on the other side, Bill Bob's on the monitor. Beep, 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 beep. He looks over at her, he kind of winks and nods. I'm trying to give him the chart, he doesn't need that. He kind of winks and nods. Beep, beep, she unhooks that monitor. Yeah. Straight line. He's holding Bill Bob's pulse. He says, looks like he's done passed. Let the family come in and view the body. Bill Bob's eyes pop open. He sits up like a human catapult. I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. That was a save. And not only was that a save, as he put his Stetson back on and left through the doors, I was going to thank him. And he said, no reason to do that. It's called the practice of medicine for a reason, Bob. And you keep practicing, you'll get the hang of it. There was a save that day of Bill Bob, and there was a save of my practice of emergency medicine. Thank you.